Thanks to the support as a channel member, Patrick Topor. Well, after what I thought was a really, really good summer transfer window, apparently the club are now teetering on the brink close to administration. The second club in a row that's happened to. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Maybe leaving Barcelona for Juventus to avoid financial problems wasn't my smartest ever move. But today we've got the European Super Cup, so we can pair ourselves up against the Champions League winners and see if we've really got a chance in that competition this season. And then we've just got to try and survive 3 more weeks to get to the end of the transfer window before we go into administration, so I can take this squad that we've assembled into the new season, because I firmly believe, and I might be about to change my mind, but I firmly believe this squad could win the Champions League. After all, we've been there before. I know what it takes to win a Champions League. Hello and welcome to Club 5, Part 12 of Non-Lethal Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have the European Super Cup against Bayern Munich. And then we're also going to have our first game of the league season against... in fact, we might do the game against Lecce just so we can get to the end of the transfer window. Hopefully having survived administration. Obviously, if administration happens in the meantime, we'll deal with that too. But fingers crossed it won't. I think yesterday's transfer window was awesome. Yes, we spent £170 million and only brought 50 million in. But I stuck within my budgets. If they got the budgets wrong, that's their fault, not mine. And I will forever stick to that as my excuse. We haven't built up a load of transfer debt, which is very unique compared to how I normally am at normal clubs. This problem is all because the club didn't qualify for the Champions League. If you look at how the club finances work, every year they go a little bit overdrawn, but the Champions League money comes in and they're fine. They had that season before I arrived where they finished 6th, didn't qualify for the Champions League. Last season was the year where we weren't in the Champions League and we didn't get the boost back up, and the debt has just continued to accumulate. The fact we're now back in the Champions League means it should go a long way towards being resolved this season. It's just whether or not there's enough patience there to allow us to avoid administration and I think we'll naturally come back out of this problem. I mean, you can even see on the projection, we naturally start to recover. So fingers crossed, it'll be fine. But let's not worry about it. Let's go and play Bayern Munich, the European champions in the European Super Cup. And this is our new look team. We've got Seko in goal, a back four of Mansouré. I think Mansouré is going to be the guy we go with at left back this year. We have a number of centre backs who can play left back, but I think Mansouré is probably the most well suited to it. New boy Valente will partner Sotalo at the back with Agostini at right back. Boatini's going to play at the base of the midfield in a slightly different role. That's why we've got Agostini playing right back, because Veloso dos Santos, our new midfielder, doesn't really suit either of the roles we normally play in midfield. Now, we could and maybe will end up using him at the base of the midfield as a deep line playmaker and keep Agostini at fullback. But if we're going to use him in central midfield, I think we need to have him as the playmaker further forward, which means we can't really have a playmaker behind him. And Boatini, much better suited to just be in there as a cruncher. The other option would be to swap them around, have Boatini box to box, Dos Santos as playmaker. But I'm going to try them this way round. It's a game that doesn't matter so much, so we can experiment a little bit. So Boatini at the base of the midfield, Veloso dos Santos and Szoboszlai ahead of him. And then wonder kid new boy Bilger on the left. Our other wonder kid new boy Ruiz on the right. Vlahovic up front. If you're wondering where the other new striker is, Lazrak is suspended for this game. He must have been a naughty boy in Europe last year, suspended for 1 European match. So we won't get to look at him until the second game, but we do get to look at these other new boys. In fact, what I do need to do is just make sure that we've got our set piece takers adjusted accordingly, because we've obviously got a lot of new faces in. I don't know if any of them can actually hit a set piece. It doesn't look like it. Bilger, maybe. Is it Bilger or Bilger? Let me know down in the comments. I'll continue to say it whichever way I feel like, probably, because, you know, a little bit of that's just the way I am, and a little bit of I'm recording this video days in advance. As this video is coming out, I'm on my way to Switzerland to do this Servette match day vlog off of the back of the Twitch save. So yeah, I won't see this in the videos that come out over the next few days. I'm in Switzerland, so they're already going to be pre-recorded as well. So he's going to be Bilger, I think, for at least the next few episodes. If it turns out he was Bilger, it might change at some point. So Juventus versus Bayern Munich in the European Super Cup. I'm sure there was one of those little songs that was playing there. We haven't had a chance to have a look at this Bayern Munich team, and we're not going to. We'll have a look once we get to once we get out of the highlight. I wasn't patient enough to see them load up. I mean, there's a lot of names you'd expect to see in the team. I noticed De Ligt is still there. I think I saw Musiala was still there as well previously. So there's a few names you would expect to be at Bayern Munich, but we'll have a look at the team properly in a second. But it's Szoboszlai to take this corner. And obviously Sotalo was a huge threat from these last year. This is his first game as a permanent Juventus player, and he's not able to get a proper contact. I think it goes out for another corner. It does. It's going to be Szoboszlai from the other side now, going to be aiming for Sotalo again. Obviously, we've got Valente in there as well, who we know from Preston and Spurs is a big threat in these situations as well. So it's not just the Sotalo show anymore. And there is the Bayern Munich team who, I mean, it's, okay, they've got Alphonso Davies, De Ligt, and Musiala. They're the three existing Bayern players who are there, I think. They've got Enzo Fernandez in midfield as well. Tarek Lamptey playing right back for Bayern Munich 10 years in the future. I mean, it all seems to check out. Right. Let's really test ourselves here and demonstrate to all, including me, that we've got a chance to win this Champions League, because that's really the only reason we've done one more year at Juventus. Obviously, we won Serie A last year. We are also waiting for the Preston job to open up. But we've won Serie A. We've proven we know what to do domestically. We won the Europa League. We're here for that third Champions League win. It would be the first time ever a manager has won Champions Leagues with 3 different clubs. It would be our third Champions League in 5 seasons with 3 different clubs. It's quite the achievement if we can get it done. So we're testing ourselves out to see if it's likely to happen. And I don't know. I look at this team and I compare it to the team we had at Tottenham in particular, and it's certainly better than that Tottenham team. You could argue in individual areas it may be stronger than the Barcelona team. I think defensively it's probably stronger than Tottenham, but not as good as Barcelona. The midfield, the jury is out. It depends how good Veloso dos Santos is. But attack-wise, I think this is probably the best. I mean, Vlahovic is the best out-and-out striker we've had at any of these clubs. I know Sakuna was very good. Sen was very good. But Vlahovic is sensational. And if these young Belgian chaps that we brought in to play alongside him end up being as good as I hope they are, this could be a Champions League winning team. They've just brought Moukoko on. Bayern Munich have got Moukoko in their midst. Dortmund fans delighted. What must it be like as a Dortmund fan having Bayern Munich take one of your better players away from you? What an unusual experience that must be. There's going to be people in the comments section. Well, actually, Kev, I think, yeah, all right. Do I need to hold a sign up when I'm being sarcastic? Goodness me. Valente has made a bit of a howler there, and so is Seco. And between the lot of them, they've managed to just about keep it out of the goal. I'm not sure what Valente's up to. He's kind of slidden in, but not made any proper contact on it and just pushed it into the path of the Bayern player. But Seco has got him covered. Valente cannot be messing around like that, or he is not going to be in this team for very long. We've obviously still got Bremer knocking around the place. We can move Mansoret over to centre-back if need be. We've got Leone. So, you know, Valente, he's not a guaranteed starter if he's going to be a rascal. And Bayern Munich have gone ahead in this game. We've not, talking how good our attack is, we've not actually looked like scoring yet. And I've just seen Vlahovic has picked up a knock, and that is an absolute disaster. He is going to have to come off. We don't have any, I mean, Bilger's going to have to go up front, even though he's shattered and is ready to come off. We're going to bring on Fabris to go on the left-hand side. Now we've got to play an 18-year-old who's shattered up front on his own for the final 35 minutes of this game. That's not ideal. That whole situation is not ideal, but far more important than trying to win this match is protecting Vlahovic. He got 62 goals, I think it was, last year. Something ridiculous in all competitions. And that's because we managed to keep him fit. So we have to keep him fit. It's absolutely crucial to the ongoing success of this football club. I think this is probably putting a lot of weight on Bilger's shoulders on his debut against the best team in the world, though, which is, I mean, it's challenging. It's definitely challenging. And Sotalo, I think, is giving away a penalty and probably picking up a second yellow card here. And this is going from bad to worse. We've picked up the Vlahovic injury. We're now going to be conceding a second goal. We could get thumped and lose our best player, all in one go. And then maybe for a cherry on top, we'll go into administration on the way home. Wouldn't that be nice? Satalo's been sent off. Oh, goodness me. This is a disaster. Right. I don't know what to do. Right, we are going to take off Boatini. And, I mean, we've got plenty of defenders, so that's a positive. We're going to bring Bremer on at the back. And now I just think in the interest of protecting our players, we're going to give up any pretense of trying to win the game. Bilger's going to come off. We're going to go strikerless. We're going to stick, where is he? Gratikos is going to come on and play in there. And we're just going to take off everybody who's getting tired. So Boslai is going to come off as well. We can bring Gervasio on for him. Mansoret is tired, so Leone can come on for him. And I think we've got one more substitution we would be allowed. We've got 27 minutes of football left yet. We'll save that one maybe. That could be a little treat for a little while. I mean, if Seko can make the save here and this ridiculous strikerless system works, you never know. I mean, he doesn't and it won't. So, yeah, we're going to get embarrassed here. We're playing with no striker. The other Belgian guy needs to not be suspended very often. I'm now looking at this wondering, do we need to go and get another striker? But we've got no money. We can't go and get another striker. That would be insane. Am I better? What's more likely to fix the finances long term? Winning the Champions League or not spending £15 million on another striker? I know what I'd do. Got to speculate to accumulate, folks. I am not the man to be in control of a club in this situation. Right, Agostini's going to come off for Maggioni. And apparently we've already made 5 substitutions, so that's not happening at all. Fair enough then. I can't count to 5 anymore. That's how bad things are getting. So Valente, forward to Gervasio. And now Gratikos, who is effectively playing up front on his own, even though he's playing in midfield. Valente, back to Seko again. We don't really want highlights. Can we just have the game done now, please? This is... We came into this to find out if we had a chance to win the Champions League, and we've discovered we probably don't at this stage. But we know... Oh, Seko very nearly making a wonderful save. But no, it was a goal. But we know we do get better as the season goes on. Last year, we got comfortably beaten by Newcastle at the start of our Europa League stage and didn't even finish in the top 8 in the Europa League because we had a couple of tricky defeats early on as we were finding our feet. The players were getting used to the system. And then as the season went on, we got stronger and stronger and stronger and ended up winning the whole thing. So, oh my word. So just because things aren't going very well at the moment doesn't mean they're forever going to not go very well. We're down to 9 men. Oh my word. And that's our best midfielder is injured as well now. So we've lost our best striker and our best midfielder. And we've potentially forever broken our wonder kid striker because we made him play up front on his own when he was shattered in this situation. His confidence is going to be done forever. Ruiz Ruiz should have come off. He's a youngster on his debut. He shouldn't have played this entire match. And all in all, oh no. I mean, Seko is keeping us in it. He's showing us only on a 6.3. I've seen Seko make a number of very good saves. I'm not having him on a 6.3 at all. Yes, he's conceded 3 goals, but he's actually made a number of very important saves. He's kept it close to respectable. I mean, I'm not sure how close to respectable it is anymore. Circumstances have turned on us today. And, yeah, this is pitiful at this point. Can we just have the end of the game, please? I mean, it would be... I think if we go into administration on the way home, I might just resign and wait for Preston. I feel like I don't want to clean up this mess. It's not a mess I made. It's whoever finished 6th has made this mess. It's a team that's been kind of... Oh, there's another penalty. They've kind of been teetering on the brink of this financial problem for 20 years, banking on the Champions League money every year. And the one year it went away, it's caused a disaster, even though we won the league and won the Europa League that year. So on the pitch, it was a 1-year blip and we went back to being very successful again. But financially, we just can't survive that year of no Champions League money. Or maybe the board shouldn't have given me so much money to spend that year. Because, like I say, I have spent within budgets both of these seasons. I've not used the Never Never. I've not run up loads of transfer debt. I've just spent the money they let me spend. They're idiots. Oh, dear. Oh, dear me. It's 4-0 now. We're down to 9 men against the best team in the world. Obviously, we're struggling a little bit here now. And I can't believe that we're still having highlights inflicted on us. Poor old Graticos and Gervasio did not expect to be playing in midfield on their own together today. And, oh, dear me, it's 5. Can I go to Preston now, please? I was feeling very positive 10 minutes ago. I don't want to see any more highlights. This has been absolutely disastrous. Agostini's on a 5.9. He's having a horrible day. I thought we'd given away yet another penalty there. I think at that point, I just go and catch an earlier flight back. I don't even know what country we're playing in here. But I'm not hanging around for these players. I'm just going home. I've had enough. The players have let me down today. This is all on them. Off-field troubles, clearly getting in their heads. It's 6. I mean, I dish these out quite often. It's not often I'm on the receiving end of these absolute batterings, especially in important games like this. I would be alarmed. I mean, we've done an XG of 0.29 there. If Vlahovic is properly injured, we're in trouble. We'll still probably win the league, but we need a deep Champions League run to fix the finances. Right, Veloso dos Santos is out for 5 to 6 weeks. Vlahovic is out for 2 weeks. Luckily, he should be back for the start of the season because we've actually got a couple of weeks before the season actually starts. But just yikes with what we've seen there. Big, big yikes. We now need to survive 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get to the end of the transfer window without going into administration so we can keep this team together. And I also need to make sure I don't spend any money in that time. Or else I'm only going to maybe we'll just double down. Let's just make it worse. I'll try not to make it worse. Folks, just want to take a moment to thank today's episode sponsor, NordVPN. Now, as you know, I've been doing a lot of international travel lately for all these matchday vlogs I'm having to do as part of Non-League to Legend. We've already been to Barcelona. By the time you see this, I'll either be in Switzerland or on my way to Switzerland. We've got Turin coming up as well. There's lots of international travel, and the idea of traveling internationally or even within the UK without NordVPN protecting my data, frankly, is one that would feel a little uncomfortable to me. But luckily, I do have NordVPN to protect me, so I'm very comfortable logging into airport Wi-Fi, hotel Wi-Fi, cafe Wi-Fi, so that I can, keep up to date with Twitter and all that kind of stuff without having to worry about some nefarious little rascals stealing all my data or whatever else internet rascals get up to. They've always got dastardly plans, haven't they? And this is how you foil those plans. And it really is as simple as just one click to get connected wherever I am in the world. You just go onto the app, click Quick Connect, and what do you know? It connects me to the VPN. So at the moment, I'm in the UK, so it's connected me to a VPN in the UK. I can also connect to a VPN in the UK when I'm abroad in another country, which then allows me to fool my device into thinking that I am also in the UK, so I can do things like watch BBC iPlayer or the UK version of Netflix if I'm in another country. But equally, whilst in the UK or anywhere else, I can fool it into thinking I'm somewhere else. So, for example, I can move my location to New York, which is in America, and then that allows me to access content in America. It's that easy. It's that awesome. And not only is the content on all these different devices sometimes region-locked or different content in different areas, but also sometimes the prices are a little bit different. So by doing this, I can shop around and get the best deals on all these services as well. A VPN really is something in 2023 that you need. And this is a good one. And to absolutely top it off, of course, I've got a discount for you. All you need to do is head down to the link in the description below, sign up for NordVPN for a massive discount on a 2-year plan. That is the link that's right there now and at the top of the description. Click that, head to NordVPN, and you get an exclusive discount on a 2-year plan. Go do it now. It's easy peasy, and you won't regret it. Well, good news, boys and girls. We survived the end of the transfer window without going into administration. I didn't buy any more players. I didn't make it worse. Interestingly, we are now, as you would probably be expected, attracting interest on takeovers. So there might be a takeover in the offing. I've had a look at the club situation. We are considered in debt with rumours of a potential board takeover, and this is what the money looks like. I mean, it's not ideal, that's for sure. I did go and check in on Barcelona, because obviously we're in a similar situation at Barcelona before I left. And Barcelona are now doing fine financially. So I've had a look at their landmarks. And just after I left, they did go into administration. So last summer, they went into administration for about a month and then just came out of administration again. And apparently are now fine. Don't know how that has worked. I looked at La Liga from last season. There was no points deduction or anything for being in administration. They've not been blocked from being in Europe because of FFP or anything like that. They're in the Champions League as normal. So apparently going into administration doesn't really matter anyway. So I don't know what we're worried about. And what I am worried a little bit about is our start to the season has been a struggle. We only drew 0-0 at home to Spezia, and then really laboured to a 1-0 win away against Lecce. And the really worrying thing about that is just how poor Vlahovic played. It was his first game of the season after getting injured in the game against Bayern. He missed the Spezia game, and he was rubbish. We've now had a couple of weeks off for an international break. We're going to play this Lazio game, and fingers crossed he's back to his wonderful best from last season. If not, we have a problem. But we've got Secco in goal, a back four of Mansoret, Valente, Sotalo and Agostini, Boatini at the base of the midfield, Szoboszlai and Baturina ahead of him, Lazrak on the left, Bilger on the right, and Vlahovic up front. Both Lazrak and Bilger, we've not really seen anything from either of them yet. They've both played on both wings. They've both played up front. And I think what we probably need to do is get them settled into positions. They're both good enough that they should probably be in the team at all times, which is a bit of a problem having all three of them in the teams. It means we don't have a substitute striker. So when Vlahovic has to go off, one of them has to go up front. And if they're all tired, we're probably still a player short in the attack is what I'm getting at. But Lazrak has scored his first goal for the club. Lazrak 1, Lazio 0. All the Lazes. We've scored inside the first 2 minutes of the match, and hopefully that's the first of many for our Belgian strikers that we brought in back in the summer. And one of these eventually is going to need to step up and take over from Vlahovic, whether it's this season, next season, the season after. It's likely to be a thing that happens long after I'm gone, and it might be that these two are forever wingers at this club and another striker comes in to replace Vlahovic when he eventually has to pack things in. But we've immediately conceded an equaliser, which is not ideal. We've kind of had a bit of a settled back four so far this season. I'm pretty happy with this back four of Agostini, Sotalo, Valenti and Mansoret, but it hasn't looked very good there. That's the first goal we've conceded since the Bayern Munich game, and I might start to become less happy with this as a back four if we continue conceding from corners, which is, I mean, we should be strong at corners. Sotalo and Valenti are both very good in the air. Mansoret is a centre-back playing at left-back. And we've got big boys further forward as well. And what on earth has just gone on there? Dusan Vlahovic has got his first goal of the season. And it's an absolute gift. I have never seen anything like that in all my years playing Football Manager. This is their fullback who has done a beauty of a cross. So that's the Lazio fullback. I don't even know what he's trying to do. It's a beautiful cross. And Vlahovic just gets onto the end of it, nods it past the goalkeeper. I suspect the Lazio fans aren't going to be very happy. I tell you what, the winter update that fixed the goalkeepers and fixed the defending, maybe it doesn't happen as often anymore, but when it happens, my word, the howl-ups are absolutely disastrous and like nothing I've ever seen before, and that was definitely one of them. But once again, we've immediately conceded. The referee's just checking it with VAR, and it has been awarded. So we've scored twice and been pegged back within a minute and a half both times. And this one, I mean, the one we scored was a gift. The one they've scored has just been poor defending. We've been caught very flat, and they've just got in between us with a ball over the top, and it shouldn't be that easy. It really shouldn't. Right, Agostini to Boatini. Baturina trying to play Bilger in and can't find him. Bilger's the one, and we've seen nothing from yet. Obviously, we've now had the goal from Lazrak, and that is poor, and we've given the ball away. But Boatini, that's the advantage of playing him in that defensive midfield role. He is just there to tackle and does protect the defence nicely. You wouldn't know it today. Lazrak playing it back to Mansoray, and now Baturina. Boatini from the edge of the area. He doesn't just protect the defence, he scores screamers as well, apparently. Too right, take a bow, sir. Well, I think he was just pulling up his socks. We're only 15 minutes into this match. It's already 3-2. This is quite the spectacle. What a game for the neutrals, and what a goal from Boatini, who is finding himself having a little bit of a run in the team, which he never really got last year. We always can't, because Locatelli was that year younger and we were still playing him a lot. Locatelli kind of had this position nailed down. Agostini would play in there as well. And Boatini was trying to force his way in central midfield, where we had the likes of Gervasio and Gratikos having their breakout seasons, and obviously still with Szoboszlai and Baturina knocking around as well. And there just wasn't room for Boatini, and he potentially has found himself a role here, because when Dos Santos is fit again, he's going to be playing in midfield as that playmaker. So we need someone who's just a bit more defence-minded to protect the back four, and that man is Boatini, and he's doing it very well so far. Mansoray across to Baturina, and now Szoboszlai to Agostini, who of course is the other man who could potentially play that role, but is enjoying a little run at right back at the moment. Baturina to Szoboszlai. Bilger plays it into Lazrak, the two Belgians looking to combine, and we've forced a corner. And can we have a little bit of daylight between us and Lazio with one of our set-piece specials? It's Szoboszlai to take the in-swinger, looking at the far post. The keeper flaps at it, but it eventually falls clear to Bilger, who can't make anything from it. And now Lazio are going to look to put together a counter-attack, although we've done quite a good job of just containing them as they tried to get the ball clear. What an insane first half this has been. Insane first 15 minutes. It calmed down a little bit from there, but that was a bonkers little spell of football. 3-2 at half-time. Now let's just have a much more calm, a much more tame second half. We were, bless him, the guy who did the wonderful cross is on a 5.9. I wonder why. At least the game recognises that what he did was absolute insanity and has punished him for it. Valente then, playing it forward to Baturina, and now Szoboszlai. Vlahovic has dropped deep here, and this is some lovely football. Baturina playing it into Bilger. Bilger to Vlahovic. I mean, I don't know why Bilger doesn't take that on and have a go himself. He probably could have done, but he's unselfishly played it across to his senior colleague, who's just swung at it, and Vlahovic is still struggling to look like the player we had last year. Obviously, he's scored an absolute gift of a goal. He's not done very much else. And it might just be the different combination of players around him, and he will settle back in again. Or it might be that time is catching up with him. And look at that again from Boatini. That is, I mean, I'm enjoying him there as a ball-winning midfielder. You've always got the danger that he is a bit of a wild man playing in a tackling role. He is going to pick up cards, and we've got to accept that's going to happen. But when he doesn't, and when he's just having a good game protecting the back four, goodness me, is he doing that job well. And look at what it allows the team to do ahead of him. And Bilger now does have his first goal for the club as well. The referee's got his finger in his ear. Fingers crossed this is given, because I think Bilger needs a little confidence boost. He's still suffering from what happened against Bayern Munich when he was kind of left in the lurch on his own up front. But he now has his first goal for us. And it's lovely, crisp, quick, attacking, passing football. Szoboszlai played it in. Bilger hits it first time. He was in a similar position to that 5 minutes ago and played it across to Vlahovic. This time, no mistake. He's just going to hit it. Vlahovic was a little bit deeper, so it wasn't really on as a pass. Bilger beating the offside trap perfectly, and then just using sheer force to power it past the Lazio goalkeeper. It's now 4-2, and this is feeling a little bit more like it. We've been defensively suspect, but at least we are starting to get a little bit of daylight in there now. Maggioni's going to come on. Bremer's going to come on. I don't think Vlahovic is fully fit yet, so we're going to put Bilger up front again. Ruiz can come on and play on that right-hand side. I mean, it's good to have a couple of wonder kids involved in our attack now in Bilger and Ruiz, and Lazrak is I mean, he's looked good today, that's for sure. Right, final couple of changes. We've got a lot of tired legs in that midfield. I think we're going to take off Mansoray, and Leone can come on, and then Szoboszlai is the oldest, so he gets to come off, and Gratikos can come on and play in central midfield, who had forced his way into the team as a starter by the end of last season, but not had a start yet this year. It will come. Don't you worry. Gratikos will get starts, and Dos Santos will hopefully be fit again for the next episode as well. But after a very odd start, and a feeling that Lazio were never going to let us actually breathe today. We have picked up a win. This is the first time we've looked properly good going forward. We've had goals from all three of our strikers, which is always a bonus. Fingers crossed, things are going in the right direction. The defence isn't going to suddenly start looking rubbish. It's unusual for me to have a settled team this early in the season, but I'm pretty much comfortable with this 11. You just add Dos Santos in. Ruiz has done very well there. Not been able to keep it in, but did well to cut out the counter-attack. And I think that's probably going to be that. Are we even going to have time to take this throw? Maybe they are. And then I think we get the final whistle. Ref, please don't let Lazio score again. That would be unnecessary. Maggioni deals with it. It ends 4-2. What a strange football match. Imagine if you were 15 minutes late and you missed almost all the action. Right. The plan from here, obviously, we continue to try to not go into administration, but there might be a takeover before the next episode as well. We have had our Champions League draw, and we've got Bayern Munich, Manchester United, their tough games. Inter, oh no, that's not in the Champions League. How could that be in the Champions League? They're also Italian. But yeah, a couple of tough games, but certainly I think we should be able to navigate to top 8. I think we'll probably come back tomorrow or maybe Leipzig, maybe Ajax. Both of those are interesting games, but you'd think we should be able to win either of them. And then we'll definitely be looking to the likes of Manchester United and Bayern Munich to give us a real test and a real idea of how good we are going to be in the Champions League this year, hopefully with new owners. If anyone wants to buy Juventus, let me know down in the comments section. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.